Hey everyone, I'm your host, Sarah Russell, founder of Alloyed, the marketing agency alternative. Welcome to After Hours. After Hours is a podcast for business owners and marketing professionals who want to cut the BS and take control of their marketing. We'll crack open a cold one with industry experts and dig deep into the best practices, pitfalls, and untold secrets of marketing today. After Hours is your backstage VIP pass to the world of advertising and brand building. So let's dive in. Hey everyone, I'm here with Drysen Carsten today from Hyperfocus Motion. He's the creative director over there. Drysen, I'm so excited to have you here today. Are you ready to get started?
I am super excited about this. Thanks for having me.
Yay. All right, let's crack one open.
This is the best podcast start ever. But I got to say, I kind of understood the assignment. This ginormous can is like bigger than my head.
Oh, wow. An IPA too.
This is through Weather Brothers, their custom thing.
I'm supporting local, so I've got a Fernson Skip Day here.
There you go.
Fernson
This
is
is
a
the
local
aggregate IPA from Weather Brothers. Ginormous.
Not sponsoring this podcast.
I'm going to be drunk before this is over. Here we go. Ready?
Yep. Ready?
All right. It smells so good.
Cheers to that.
I feel like I'm drinking it straight out of the keg here. This is huge.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty epic. That's pretty epic, Drysen.
I understood the assignment.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, we're here with Drysen today to talk a little bit more about video and marketing video specifically. Drysen, do you want to kind of give us a little bit of background about what you've been up to and what you're doing nowadays? It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I started my career working on TV shows, both local, then went national for a couple of different ones. 2022, somewhere in there, I decided to go freelance full time and started working with agencies across the country as a freelance motion designer, which means animation, motion graphics, less on the video and editing side. But you still have to know everything from all this stuff, because the right tool could be animation, the right tool could be live action, or it could be something completely different. But you have to know how to use all these mediums together. And so since January of 2023, I have co-founded Hyperfocus Motion with my good friend Courtney Haverl, and we are just kicking ass and having fun with it.
I love that so much. That's so awesome. I'm always curious to hear, what was your motivation back, I think you said in 2021, to go freelance? Like,
you're probably not going to love this answer, because interviewing the video professional, I got really bored with video.
Oh, interesting.
And what that means is I felt limited by the limitations of live action a lot of the times, because you shoot a shot, you can make it look as creative as you want, but you're still limited to what's actually in. Sorry, my pet bunny's over there throwing her bowl in the corner. You're limited to what's actually in the real world. But when you break into motion graphics and animation and computer renderings of things, you can do anything. It doesn't have to exist. And that unlimited creativity to tell a story, to bring visuals or information or storytelling to an audience, is way more fun than just pointing a camera at something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. So you can think it and bring it into existence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. And Hyperfocus Motion. So you specialize in motion graphics. That's kind of where your niche is.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You serve all different types of businesses, different types of industries, or do you have a special focus in that area as well?
We are freakishly aware and knowledgeable in the agricultural industry. Everything from soil samples to combines to tractors to fertilizer, you name it. We know a lot of that kind of stuff due to our time at working on some of these national TV shows.
Sure.
But we don't just serve the agricultural industry. We love things in finance. We love things in entertainment. We love things in food and beverage. I kind of want to do a product shot with this thing now because it's so cool. But yeah, we do just about anybody.
I love that. Awesome. Well, that's really exciting. And I'm super excited for you guys. And, we kind of joined forces sort of at that same trajectory moment where we were kind of coming together. So it's been really fun working with you. And I think you and Courtney are just phenomenal. So.
Likewise, we are huge fans of the Allied Network. It's fantastic.
Well, let's dig into the video components a little bit more. And One of the things I often hear from clients is sort of this misconception that if I don't have a five-figure budget, should I even think about doing video? If I'm not making a TV commercial or a Super Bowl commercial, is there anything beyond that? And I think you've probably got a really good perspective to share there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Video is one of the most impactful ways to connect with your audience. And when you think about it, we live in a world where everything is fast paced. Everyone has a very short attention span. If it's not in your forefront mind, you're not thinking about it. And
Mhm.
so, video allows you to convey information quickly without having to worry about someone just being bored by the blog article or bored by your social media scroll. You're able to capture their attention quickly with a quick movement and this kind of stuff. And so people want to watch. And it's a quick way to actually give people the information they're looking for. It's a great way to just connect people to understand what it is your business does, how you do things, what to expect. And a lot of the times, just taking the fear out of saying, I'm going to work with this new company. For example, say I want to check into a new hotel, but I've never been there before. Now I've got to do research. What kind of hotel are they? Do I need to have any sort of like dress code? Is it going to be like hard to park at? Is it going to like all these questions you
Yeah,
don't know about? A quick little
right.
video saying, hey, this is our parking lot. Here's what the room looks like. Here's what our
Yeah,
check-in desk
for
looks
sure.
like. Here's our amenities we have. Can really set someone's comfort
Yeah.
level at ease. So they're way more likely to jump in and go, cool, let's book this and do this thing.
You can show them the experience versus telling them the experience.
Exactly. And we are,
Yeah.
I feel people are visual learners. I mean, we've been working with pictures and hieroglyphics since caveman days. So the more you can
Mhm.
show, not tell,
Yeah,
the more powerful it actually is, in my
for
opinion.
yeah, for sure. I'm a big, data buff, I guess
Hmm.
you would say, and so I love to throw out statistics whenever I can, and I was actually reading some interesting
Ooh,
statistics
I like numbers. Tell me, what'd you find?
about video. Um, I read that people retain, 95% more when they watch or hear a message
Yep.
versus only 10% when they read a message.
Yep.
So that's pretty powerful. And eBay and Amazon also shared some data about adding a video to their product listings actually increased the purchase rate of those products by up to 35%, which
Product
is
reviews are essential. Absolutely.
pretty massive.
Yeah.
Yes. So lots of different ways I think you can use business or use a video to tell your business's story,
And the term video is super generic. It's a blanket statement anymore because you can have testimonials, product reviews, you can have culture videos, recruitment videos. So just saying I'm going to make a video is kind of a shot in the dark because you
For
don't know
sure.
what your actual goals are.
Yeah,
But as
for
far as
sure.
back to your original question of, you don't have a big budget, do you need to pay attention to video? I think the resounding answer is absolutely, because you don't have to have a 5, 6, 7 figure budget to make a cool video. I'm seeing really cool people do things with their iPhones and doing
Yeah,
really great work with it. As long as
yeah,
you're able to convey the story, convey the message, I think that's 95% of the battle. Now, if you
yep,
want, a certain look or certain style, certain feel, you don't have the time to do it, then I would look at, outsourcing and having bigger budgets and stuff. But you can do great things with just your iPhone.
yeah, that's awesome, that's awesome. I better take another drink so I can actually say statistics next time.
We're gonna make this a drinking game. Every
Mhm.
time Drysen slurs a word, we're gonna have to drink.
Yep, yep. Every time I mess up a sentence, I gotta take a drink.
Oh boy.
Um, well, so let's say you decide, okay, everybody listening, maybe they're like, "Okay, I'm in. I get it. I wanna do a video." What are ways to kind of maximize that once you make a video? I've seen clients before where they make a video, they post it one place and then they move on, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to maximize that investment. So what
Absolutely.
are
I
are your
feel
strategies on that?
I feel if you have your video done and you're now trying to figure out where to place it, you've kind of missed the boat, so to speak. You should really go back to the beginning, to when you are just starting to think about, I have a problem that I need to solve, and I want to use a video to do that.
Hmm.
Taking that time to actually think about and plan and consult what this video is going to be, what it's going to look like, Oh, excuse me. What the message is going to be, the goals of the video, what actions you want people to take, what emotions you want people to feel. Answering all those questions first is going to kind of naturally move you to your answers there. If it's more
Mm,
of an explainer type video where you're, explaining what the check-in process at a hotel looks like,
yeah.
you probably want it to live on your website or on YouTube, someplace where people can find it and see more about you. If it's
Hmm.
going to be something to grab attention and say, we've got a sale going on right now, maybe that's going to be on Facebook or on TikTok or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So knowing up front what your goals are can kind of help lead the direction and solve that question for you.
Hmm.
Beyond
Yep.
that, when you actually plan it out ahead of time, a lot of these platforms have different aspect ratios or different sizes of video that you have to
Mm,
deliver on. And we're all marketing professionals watching this, I imagine. So this isn't anything new to anybody. But if you want it to be 16:9 for Facebook or for YouTube, but that's going to be a horizontal video. But if you want it to be in your Facebook stories or your Instagram reels or on TikTok, it's going to be vertical videos. We also have
mm,
4x3, we have 1x1s. So just knowing what your plan to roll this video out is going to be is really going to help maximize that content.
yeah.
Now, there is a lot to be said about if you invest into a very expensive day shoot where you have, maybe you have a celebrity spokesperson coming in and you have like this big set design, everything else,
Yeah.
you don't want to just do one video and be done. So
No.
now back in our planning stage, we can go, okay, we need to have micro content, these sound bites. We want to grab these things for social, but these things for Facebook and these things for YouTube. So you can take your shoot day, plan for 100 different pieces of content. You only
Yeah.
have one initial shoot day investment, but now you've
Yep.
got several campaign videos on the backside. And I
Yeah.
think I think that's the where the future of video production and editing is going to go, because the one-off videos are so easy to do on your cell phone, on your iPhone, that it almost doesn't make sense for an entire production crew like Hyperfocus or whoever you're working with to be hired for one specific single little video.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that you mentioned micro content. I think that's super important to keep in mind when you're, like you said, doing these large productions because there's so much you can take out of that and not just other videos as well. Like you can take out quotes and use those, to put on social media, or there's just so many, still photos that you can pull from those shoots as well. I mean, there's just a sort of a treasure trove of content to be mined out of these things, and if you're not doing that, you're really missing the value that these things can deliver for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that. So once you get, you guys have, I think, a very specific methodology when you approach a new video project with your clients, which I want to touch on because I think it's really phenomenal. But when you see, you see other people out in the wild doing video work, what are the biggest missteps that you've observed people take when it comes to either, executing or using videos in their marketing?
Okay, okay. Um, that is a great question. I feel one common theme thing that I see often is not having a clear message right off the bat.
Mm,
Uh,
mhm.
a lot of the times when we're making videos or when videos are made, it's very easy to put 7, 8, 9 messages in there. So we're going to make one video. It's going to be a recruitment video. It's going to be a culture video. It's going to show our clients how cool we are, so they'll want to buy with us.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
use it in sales.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
all these things we're shoving into one single video, but those are a lot of different messages, and it's really
Sure.
hard to actually like give that to someone and have them know what to do with it, because there's just
Yeah.
so much information. It's just an overload. So I feel that just taking a moment to step back and say, okay, we have one goal. This is going to be our recruitment video. So, in order to
Mhm.
recruit employees, we need to show them what their work environment's going to be like, what our company is going to be like, what to expect competitively for pay, and just what their day to day operations are going to look like. Are they
Yep.
working in really terrible environments? Do they have the nicest tools? Do they have whatever? So people we
Yep.
can stress that kind of stuff. That's one message. Now you can break that
Yeah.
message up into your big video, micro content, and everything else, and push it out the door and have all that. But that's one campaign. Now, if you
Yep.
take that back and add that to a sales funnel, now you can have something where you're like, okay, we're doing something to raise awareness to people that might want to work here. Now we've got a second video that talks specifically about our benefit packages. And we've got another
Mm.
video that talks about our competitive pay,
Yeah.
our tool
Right.
program. We're buying tools for them. Now we're
Yeah.
doing several videos, again, each with one specific message under this umbrella of recruitment video. So I
Yep.
think a common problem is putting too much information into one single video and not breaking it out enough so it's digestible and not overwhelming for the viewer to watch. I think that's
Yeah. I think the misconception there is when you think about investing in a video, it's easy to fall into that trap of, well, if we're going to do this, let's just get all this information in so we can, in their mind, maybe that's how they're maximizing that investment, right? And what that really does is make that video that you do make very ineffective. Because when you say everything, you say nothing at all,
right.
right?
Right.
So it actually has the opposite effect. You could almost consider that wasting money if you're trying to jam all of that into one ineffective video,
And it's really easy to do that, unfortunately, because a lot of the times in video production, you'll get to a certain point and someone will see it and they go, "I kind of want to make a change. Let's go back and do something different real quick here." But you might be
Yep.
on the final part of the project where you're doing the final polish over here. So I think
Oh,
another
no.
problem that people
Yeah.
might encounter in video production is not proper planning of what they want to create in the first place.
The dreaded change of
That
direction.
when you're supposed to be delivering the final video, exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
We've all gotten that call, right? Oh, no.
And while
We need
that's
to
never
drink to
gonna
that
be
one, right? That's a drink.
we can drink to that one, absolutely.
Mhm. So yeah, making sure that you know where you want to end up, right? And have one clear message. One. You get
One,
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 right?
one
You
per
get
video.
one. Yes. I mean, we come across that a lot too with marketing campaigns. I mean, it's just easy to try to boil the ocean, right?
Right.
And it's sometimes hard to get them to just boil that
Mm.
down to one simple takeaway.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I
Um,
think another problem that I've noticed is, and this comes more from the video production side, and it's the problem I think a lot of agencies might struggle with sometimes. When you see it, when you're a hammer, every nail you see, that whole problem
oh,
metaphor
sure. Yeah, I
thing.
like that. I like
Uh
that. I'm always a fan of a metaphor,
right,
so
right. Not how do I want to word this properly? The beer's kicking in. That's what it is. And so as a motion design shop, when a client approaches me with a problem, I might think, cool, I have to solve this with motion graphics. As a live
Mhm.
agent, a live action studio, I might think, cool, I have to solve this with live action. I'm a design studio, design, radio studio, radio ad, yada, yada, yada. So I think from a production side, we really need to take the time to listen to what the client's problems are, understand who their target audience is, and understand that to give them the best direction to know exactly what it is that we actually need to do for them. Because
Mm,
live action might be the best thing for their
mm.
problem. If they're trying to
Yeah.
build trust, sitting down and recording testimonial videos with past clients, talking about how XYZ business enhanced their lives or their company, that's going to be way more powerful than just a flashy motion graphic ad saying, "Look how great we are." But on the flip
Mhm.
side, if we're trying to show really detailed information quickly, that's hard. It's a little more abstract, a little more vague.
Yeah,
Maybe you're
for
trying to
sure.
talk about how a root system can uptake nutrients. It's really hard to show that with live action video. So instead, motion graphics, 2D, 3D, those kind of things can really excel and visualize these things that are hard to see. So I think
Yeah.
another problem is we just say we need a video, so we go make a video because that's what we do. When it should
Mhm.
be what type of video is going to be most effective to solve the problems we have? Is it
Yeah.
animation? Is it
Yeah.
live action? Is it
Yep.
something completely different that we're not looking at? VR is becoming a thing. We don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, for
So,
sure. No, that brings up a really good I wanna ask, when you have a client come to you, to what degree do you want them to have their idea fleshed out?
mhm,
Like, do you want a client to come to you and say, "Okay, Drysen, I want an animated video, and this is what I want it to do, and these are how I want things to move, and this is the story I'm gonna tell." Or would you rather the client came to you and was like, "I don't really know what I need. Can you help me figure that out?" Like, where How
That's
do
a
you approach?
that's a great question. I love both types. Sometimes people know exactly what they want. They know exactly how it's going to work, and they just need someone to come in and execute it. And
Mhm,
I love that because they have a clear vision. There's not the what are we trying to see, what are we trying to do, what are we trying to accomplish. We can just jump in,
mhm,
get it done, move on, and everyone's moving on in life, and things are good. On the flip side, I love the brainstorming, creative collaboration. We actually have
yeah,
something called the discovery workshop. It's the first step
mm,
of our hyper focus method, where we actually sit down with the owners, with the marketing people, to figure out what exactly we're trying to accomplish here. They might know we have a problem where we have this thing here that we don't know how people connect, how they buy to it, how do how do we move people from unaware to like I get it and can't live without it. And
mhm,
that's what that discovery workshop's actually for, where we sit down and we go, okay, what are all the problem points you're solving here? What are all the messages, the themes? We just kind of whiteboard everything out. Maybe we'll do a SWOT analysis. Maybe we'll just throw ideas on a whiteboard and just find this common theme with everything. And then
mm,
from there, we start talking about delivery. Okay, is this going to be a campaign where we're doing an attraction video plus information breakouts and moving people through a pipeline to a funnel where we're actually delivering a final content piece at the very end? Or is it going to be a one-off commercial where we're just putting an ad out there on broadcast and explaining everything that we have?
yeah,
Having this workshop really helps people walk through where they're almost writing the scripts themselves, and we become more of a Sherpa or a guide trying to say,
yeah,
hey, you have the ideas, your clients, we're just trying to pull out the best pieces of information to help talk to those people to get that message across in the best way possible through a video format. And then from there the conversation naturally evolved. Maybe we're talking about a combine that it needs a certain combine head that has to be an exploded view out so you can see, hey, it has these kind of teeth or these kind of like augers and this
sure,
kind of stuff. And you can
yeah,
actually explode that out in 3D and go, cool. Now we can see and visualize, and the farmer can actually look to see exactly how his machine works before he spends a quarter to $500,000 buying this new piece of machinery. And that's really, really
that's
powerful.
awesome. Yeah, that's
S-
really, really cool.
So
Question,
yes.
do you bring giant kegs of beer to these discovery sessions?
Oh, that should be a great add-on option.
I mean, if you're not, like, missed opportunity, if I may say,
I
you know?
might have to look into that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that you said really caught my attention was the 3D graphics.
Yeah.
I think that's becoming the 3D, the immersive reality, VR, all of that is, I think, taking a stronger foothold. It's like, do you remember like 5 years ago when everybody was talking about VR, like it was gonna be the next big
Yeah.
thing and it kind of fizzled out? But I think today with the sort of AI emergence, right? Everybody's talking about AI, AI. Like, do you think there's a shot that this time VR really is going to change the video game more so than it has in the past?
I mean, Google just released their headset visor. So I mean, or not Google, Apple, my bad.
Yeah.
Apple just
Yeah.
released their headset visor, so they're still doubling down on it. Facebook and Meta, they're not giving up on the Oculus. They're still pushing hard for it. I feel there's going to be certain applications where it makes perfect sense.
Mm.
Imagine going to a trade show and you
Mhm.
have this giant machine. Say it's I don't even know. Let's say it's a giant machine. You're trying to show people how your machine works, but you have a 10-foot by 10-foot booth, but your machine's
Yeah.
ginormous. It's not going to fit. You can't do that. It doesn't make financial sense to haul all this stuff across the country to trade show. But a bunch of VR headsets, they can fit right
Mm.
inside your trunk of your car. You can pop
Right.
those on. You can walk somebody through exactly what your product is, how it works, how it functions, and give them just shy of a hands-on experience.
Mhm.
So as a sales tool, that's really powerful. It's really
Yeah, that's
effective.
cool.
And it's
That'd
way
be sweet.
cheaper in the long run to do that versus little thing, one-off videos or bringing big things in. Um, Additionally, I could see it in the entertainment industry. I
Mhm.
love haunted houses. I am a huge haunted house fan. And I've
Oh,
got this
man.
idea where like somebody would sit in a chair, you strap a headset on them, and you can have your entire haunted house experience sitting right there in the chair.
Yeah.
Could be super immersive. You're going to bleed and break barriers, and you can do way more stuff with it than you can actually in the real world.
Mhm.
On the flip side, all these things require you to have some sort of extra piece of equipment.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
That's
I
interesting.
don't think it's ever going to get to the point. where it's going to be mainstream, like our cell phones. We live with our cell phones in our pocket. We pull them out, we use them real quick, we put them back.
Yeah.
Until VR can be used in such a way that it's just as convenient or such as simplistic as our cell phones, I don't think it's going to be a life-changing day-to-day operation type thing. I
Yeah,
do think there's going
interesting.
to be applications for it though.
Yeah, it seems like Apple's trying to go that way with their new headset because they give you the ability to use all of your apps
Yep.
in the headset, so it becomes this extension of your phone. But I still don't really know how it works because you're supposed to be able to, like, use
I didn't
hand
watch the release,
gestures,
but I've been watching all the
kinda
memes. So
kooky, but, interesting for sure. Well, that's kinda cool. I love the idea of, using it to bring something that you can't physically bring to your audience.
yeah,
That's a really cool way to think about it. Um, One question I have for you is when you're working with if you were putting yourself in the shoes of a client, right? Um, and you're working with a video producer such as yourself, what would you say would be red flags to that client? Like if this person isn't doing this or they're not doing this, get a new video partner. Like run as fast as you can.
I
Don't give
feel
them your money.
I I never want to talk bad about other companies or agencies. So if you're watching this and doing this, don't. I'm not talking about you. I promise. It's just coming out of my
Yeah, right.
back of my
Yep,
head.
yep, yep. This is
I
in
would
general. This is in general.
right. I would say if they're not asking questions, that's a big thing. Uh, as a video person, I'm really knowledgeable about things like business and haunted houses and agriculture. I know a lot about those things.
Haunted houses, I
But when
like
it
that.
comes to like medical, I don't know a lot of things in the medical world. So if I
Mm,
show up to a shoot and be like, all right, let's do this, I haven't
yeah,
prepared, planned, prepped. I haven't asked the questions. I don't even know what questions to ask. And
yeah.
I think that's a red flag. If
Mm,
a company you're working with is not afraid, if they're not knowledgeable, that's okay. They don't need to be knowledgeable because they understand codecs and framing and composition and color and lighting, all the things that are really critical about why you would actually hire a production company. They get those things.
yep,
But if they're not asking little questions about your industry, if they're not, super aware of it, they're not afraid to ask dumb questions. That
right.
could be a red flag.
Yep, yep,
Because I love
yep.
asking dumb questions because I'm going to learn something new.
Well, they hire you because you're an expert in video. They don't hire you because you're an expert in healthcare or
Right.
whatever their
Exactly.
industry that
And
you're
if you
using.
are, that definitely helps because you can talk shop, you can walk the walk and know what's going on for different shots. There's definitely advantage for hiring a video professional that's an expert in your industry.
Mm,
There's pros across the board for that. But it's not a game changer as long as they're willing to ask stupid questions.
I love that. Ask stupid questions. That's great. So that's kind of your green on the reverse side of that. The green flags would be
Ask stupid
asking
questions.
stupid questions, right? Yeah. So, I love that. So, I think that gets us through to our listener question. So we had a listener um, submit a question from Cary, North Carolina. It's coming from James T. So
James T.
James,
Kirk.
James, I don't. It just says James T. He says, I get overwhelmed with all the options for posting videos online nowadays. There's Facebook Reels, there's TikTok, there's Instagram Stories, and YouTube, of course. How do I know what I should be using? And do I have to make different videos for each? You kind of touched on that earlier, but do you want to expand on that a little bit for
Yeah,
James?
yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I feel that there are a lot of options out there that allow you to post things across the board instantly. When it comes to scheduling and posting things, we use Loomly for our frame one stuff and all of
Mm,
our hyperfocus stuff, where we can upload it to one site, it pushes it out to Instagram Reels, it goes to Facebook, it goes to YouTube, everywhere we need, one button, schedule's done, and that saves a lot of time versus
yeah,
going to each site individually and uploading and captioning and tagging and hashtags and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
So there's options there. There is benefit, I feel, in creating content specifically for each platform, because
Mm,
typically each
yeah,
platform has a different audience on it.
Yeah,
Facebook
and a
becoming,
purpose
yeah,
too,
and a
really. I
purpose.
mean, yeah,
LinkedIn's more
yeah,
business oriented versus
yeah,
TikTok's way more fun. We might have, our 40, 30, 40, 50, 60 year olds on Facebook, but all the younger generations are hanging on TikTok and in those
yeah,
areas.
yeah, and people just come to Twitter to talk shit about everyone.
I don't even know if I have a Twitter account. I am not hip with the
If you
socials.
wanna get emotionally and verbally abused, I'd say post or not TikTok, to Twitter. Oh, that's the thing.
I love that. I love that. So I think by being intentional, what your message is going to be on each platform is a really strong way to approach that. Also, like everything in marketing, A/B test stuff. Maybe
Mm,
the 3D look of something is hitting really well with certain audiences, but the message of live action is doing really good over here. So
mhm.
maybe we can combine, the visuals and the message together and see
Yeah,
what happens.
yeah, yeah,
It's okay to do multiple videos of the exact same thing just to A/B test stuff. There's nothing wrong
yeah,
with that.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, and this is just not specific to videos, but social media in general, is this idea that you've got to knock it out of the park with your first ad, your
Yeah,
first video or your first ad. And that's almost never going to happen. You're never, I mean, unless you are insanely lucky, you're never going to nail it on the head by getting the message exactly right, the content exactly right, your targeting exactly right. Those things take time to build and learn from and develop. And all of that has to occur through trial and error, you know? And that doesn't mean that you create a video and they're like, well, that didn't work. So that was a waste. Not at all. Test it on a different platform
absolutely.
and see what you can learn from that. Or tweak, one element of the video or the ad or the message and run that again and see how that does. And soon if you start making those incremental shifts, don't change everything all at once, right? We won't get into the whole nitty-gritty of A/B testing, but shifting those things ever so slightly along the way is going to incrementally lead you to a strategy that will perform.
Yeah.
And then you can, once you hit that, once you figure that out, it's like go all in then, like you found the sweet spot. Now, continue to repeat that until, maybe it stops working for you and you got to redefine. So,
And I think a lot of the times we as marketers kind of get in the mindset of, I just need a video. So we're going to do something, anything.
yeah.
And then
Yep.
you forget to do the planning, the process, or even a focus test. What are your clients or customers having a problem with? You might
Mhm.
think that they're just, scared of the process, but maybe there's something down the line that that's not clear in your website or someplace that they're getting
Yeah.
lost on. And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
diagnosing and analyzing things and really diving into the nitty gritty, which is, shameless plug, what we do in the discovery workshop,
Wah, wah, wah.
to really solve the problem of, okay, we have this pain point, we feel, is this the best way to do it? Is the video
Mhm.
to do it? I really
Yeah.
believe that having a video just to have a video is a waste of time, energy, and budget. It
Yeah.
needs to have
Well, here's
goals. It needs to have a point.
yes, for sure. Well, here's the $50,000 question, Drysen. If a client came to you and said, I need a video for this, but you felt whatever way about this is not the right solution for you, would you tell that client, no, this isn't actually what you need, even if that means, turning away work for
Hands down,
their
yes, I
studio?
absolutely would.
Yeah,
Because
that's the
being
right answer.
I am 100% in the business of solving problems. And I think that I'm really good at it. I think Courtney and our skills together are, I think those that hire Hyperfocus are going to find that the skills we have, they're going to be unparalleled like anything else. You're not going to find two people who are as dedicated or as hardworking or as determined to making sure that this actually solves the problem you're trying to accomplish. So
Yeah, I
hands
love
down,
that.
yes.
Yeah, I love that. And it's more about taking care of your clients than it is about making another video, or
100%.
making another
100%.
ad. Yeah.
I make
Yeah.
videos every single day. If I don't make one tomorrow, I'm not going to be sad. But if
Yeah.
I don't solve a
Right.
problem, that really bothers me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's great. That's fun. That's wonderful. And one of the reasons why I'm glad to have you in our network as well.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah. Super. Well, I think that wraps up our session today, Drysen. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights and your knowledge and sharing a drink.
Thank
Right?
you so much for having us. Really appreciate it. And this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, super awesome. Thanks, Drysen.
All right. Talk to you later.
Take care.